Okay. So my answer to the questions are kind of all related in terms of like the whole nature versus nurture situation. Um, for like what can be done to help support new parents, I feel like a really big, like it just makes me think of like why are people, what are the attitudes that people have towards new parents like now? And I feel like a lot of people just in general are just very discouraging in the sense of like kids are just so much work and so difficult to take care of that like and annoying and burdensome, so we shouldn't like do that. And I also personally had a lot of friends who were like, oh, like I can't start to have kids because I don't even know what to do with a child, and like I'm gonna mess it up and kill it basically. And I feel like just talking about like yes, nurturing the child like is very important. There's a lot of things that like go into like how you influence your kid's life, but also like there are a lot of things that nature influences, and like your kid that your these aspects and attributes and things that your kid is going to have whether or not you are there. And so I feel like just talking about that in the sense of like you can't like, as long as you're trying your best to like nurture and love the child, with obviously like having the correct like resources and things to know what that means, then nature is kind of going to do its work, and everything will work out in that sense. And that kind of goes along with like what like might be helpful in talking to them about that. In terms of what might be an unhelpful approach, for families with like special circumstances, I think honestly it's just focusing on like one or the other of that, of like being like, oh, everything is on the nurture part of it, like you have to do every single thing right, or you're doing like the reason your kid is this way is because you did something wrong. And I think that that's very unhelpful. And I think also the opposite of that in terms of the nature of like this is just how your kid is and there's nothing you can do about it. I think that that's also unhelpful, because for either one it just like they I don't know, they just work together, and so it's like focusing on one or the other is just not going to get anywhere and not going to be helpful.